Monday, July 12th, 2021, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. We're going to look today at whether China, the Chinese government is trying to cover up a grain supply shortage problem. Yes, it's not something that we usually cover here, but it is to do with commodities. And it could have a huge impact on commodity prices all around the world, seeing that China is an economic giant these days and it consumes a lot. It's got over 1 billion people. And yeah, we're going to look into that. Before we delve further into the subject, just wanted to thank all of you out there for your support. Some of you have been with the channel for years. Some of you have just found out about my channel. Yes, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe. If you enjoy watching my videos, hit that little notification bell to be notified of my new videos. And make sure you hit the thumbs up as well. It helps. And thanks again to all of those who have supported the channel, apart from just watching it, through their donations and whatever else they do. If you want to find out more about how to help the channel, go in the description box of every video and you'll find out. So yeah, yesterday I got this through the mailbox. Someone put it through. Never heard of it. Vision Times. Or maybe I had heard of it. Maybe it's a Hong Kong based newspaper. I'm not sure. But I was going to bin it because we get a lot of junk mail, of course, sometimes. But it was a pretty nice, well printed, small newspaper. I mean, it's a big broadsheet, so to speak, but it's very thin. But then I looked at it and yeah, there's some interesting headlines there. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go through this. So who are Vision Times? Well, I think it's a Chinese owned group. I don't think they're in China. What do they say about Vision Times? It says, we are a borderless, largely volunteer community of writers, analysts, online media experts, and translators on a mission to change what the world pays attention to. We write with a mind to make the world a better place. We value curiosity, honesty, and connectedness with a special focus on China, and they're published by the Kang Zong Guo UK Limited Group. So yeah, and this story here, China suspected of censoring data to cover up grain supply shortages. That caught my attention. So there you go. So I'm going to go through this article, and it's fairly long, but I think it's important that we look at it with all that's going on in the world, with talk of another, you know what, showing up. It's a Greek letter. I want to try to not mention these things. Yeah, I think there is a plan to keep coming with these things to bring down Western economies. And there was a speech, of course, by James Wolfenson to Stanford University about 10 years ago. I've gone through that before. I'm going to put it up in the cards in the description. He talks about, he was the managing director of the World Bank, head of the World Bank. He talks about how their plan, the World Bank, IMF, all the central banks, is to really narrow the spread of inequality between North America, the Western Europe, and all the other countries in the world, especially Asia. It sounds like a good thing, right? Decrease inequality, but if you really look at their plans, they're doing it artificially. And I think what's happening in the world in the last 16 months or so is part of this, to bring down the West to its knees and bring down our economies and keep China and other economies running pretty smoothly so that the inequality narrows. It's, I would say, socialism through the back door. And it won't work. It will just make everyone poorer, of course. And you've noticed how the Chinese economy is the economy that's done the best in the last 16 months or so. And I think this is significant because they're going to keep importing, having to import, it looks like, these grains. And that's going to affect all of us, food prices all around the world, and it could be a problem. So here we go. China suspected of censoring data to cover up grain supply shortages. This article is by Simone Juncker. The Chinese Communist Party has come down heavily on independent experts that publicize honestly about the nation's suspected recent disastrous crop yields and supply shortages. Latest reports suggest numerous industry officials have been detained and their online businesses closed. According to the Castle site, corn prices are continuing to rise in the mainland. And during the 2020-2021 growing season, China is likely to face its first corn shortage in years. The shortfall is expected to be as much as 30 million tons, or around 10% of the country's total crop. In another report published by Reuters on May 12th, Chinese agricultural data provider and industry leader Cofeed unexpectedly suspended services, leaving the world's biggest soybean buyers without an honest source of Chinese data. So let's turn to page 4 now to continue this article. Okay. Reports state that analysts working in Beijing at the company have seemingly disappeared or are under house arrest for reporting honestly on China's grain and corn supply and pricing, according to ABC Australia. At another Shanghai-based company called JCI, an employee was arrested for reporting truthfully about Communist China's grain pricing. Agricultural data in China is very hard to get, according to Andrew Whitelaw, an independent market analyst from Thomas Elder Markets. He told that to ABC Australia. The market information out of China is so blatantly propaganda. A senior market strategist with Market Check, Nick Crundle, believes the Chinese authorities are desperately trying to control reporting on the situation to assuage domestic angst about grain supplies and to curb the level of import costs. They don't want the whole world to know that they need grain, and they are in a bit of strife, so they could very closely regulate the information that is released, he told ABC. It creates all sorts of food inflation problems and them having to pay more for imported grain, Crundle added. So the Chinese are very strict on going out there and telling the world there are no issues. According to Whitelaw, indications from the communist country depict an agitated situation between authorities and the harvest, along with a concern about demand and supply of grain and corn. They have said they've had a record harvest, but they're importing record amounts of corn. They've put options for corn from the US and they're buying Australian wheat, he said. I'll stop here for a second. You remember that about 10 years ago, there was the Arab Spring, and that was to do a lot with food prices and shortages. So you can see why probably the Chinese Communist Party or government is concerned about this. They don't want to scare the public. They want to keep them blind to the situation. It could backfire on them, of course. China's gone from importing 6 million tons or less corn, and that's up to 25 million tons. You just don't import things if you don't need to. Australia is not going to import kangaroo meat anytime soon because we have got plenty. With regards to communist China covering up grain shortages, the lengths it is prepared to go to are simply staggering. As to what the CCP is truly worried about boils down to the party's addiction to stability. Whitelaw summed this point up when he said, "The price of bread doubles and you have got riots on the streets because food prices are too high." So, yeah, as I said, the Arab Spring. And I think this is important not just for China. It's important for the whole world, as I said, because they're going to have to import these shortages from other countries like the United States or Brazil or Australia, and it will create shortages everywhere. And that's just going to result in higher prices. And I think they're going to come out with more monetary and fiscal stimulus. They seem to be preparing us for another crisis like last year. I don't want to mention. It starts with an LOCK. You know what I mean? And it's an excuse for them to come out with more monetary, more QE and more borrowing. It's just a nightmarish cycle, I think, that's going to end in tears for faith and confidence in the whole system. And that's why I tell people that they need to prepare themselves, not just mentally, spiritually, but also maybe monetarily with having physical gold and silver outside the system. And I think now as well, we need to start thinking about prepping in terms of food supplies and other things. And for that, I'm going to bring on Saturday Star Path Academy, who knows all about that because he survived the hyperinflation in Romania in the 1990s. So let's quickly look at where the markets are this morning. It's just before 8 a.m. London time. We've got spot gold trading at 1,800, just above 1,800. It is down just over $7. The range has been 1811 to 1798.85. So we're still stuck in this very tight range in the gold price. What about Basel III? It looks like the LBMA got an exemption. Well, I did a video on Saturday about that if you want to know a bit more and my views on that. And just to let you know, my live stream yesterday, I did it, but I did it a bit earlier because most of the people in the UK and also in Europe were watching the European football championship finals between England and Italy. England, unfortunately, lost the final. Yes, I have Italian background. I have an Italian passport, but I've been here for 30 years. And yeah, I was sad to see England not win, but life goes on, right? We got other things to worry. Spot silver is trading just around 26. It's down 10 cents. We've seen a range as high as 26.30 to a low of 25.92. The Dow future is down 31. NASDAQ futures up 10. S&P futures down just over 3 points. The currencies, we've got sterling down 0.2% at 138.80. The euro is down about the same at 118.58. Dollars unchanged versus the Japanese yen at 110.20, and the dollar is at 647.74 versus the Chinese yuan. Quickly look at the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is down 1/3% at 74.65, and the dollar is up 1/4% versus the Canadian dollar or the loonie at 124.73. WTI crude is down 0.5% at 73.65. high-grade copper down just under 1% at $4.30. Yes, we need to keep an eye on commodities. I think a major cyclical bull market started last year when commodities bottomed with the collapse in March of all the markets. And I think there's still a lot of room on the upside. Yes, it will be a choppy way higher. But with all the stimulus that we've seen, all the money printing, all the borrowing, that's going to be bound to be extended. With all the news that we're getting like this, and I think this is coming over the Atlantic to the United States, yeah, there is no end in sight to lower fiat currency values versus real things, and those are commodities, and I think the problems in China are going to get worse. To finish off, quickly look at the 10-year yield. It's unchanged at 1.35%. So tomorrow is a big day in terms of inflation data. We've got the CPI in the States. It's going to be published. I don't really trust, of course, any statistics office, not just the Chinese, but American or UK. They do tinker a lot with the data. And why do they do that? Well, it's to benefit the political class and the bankers, because a lot of this data is used to set, rates for government payouts to the public, and they want to keep those payouts as little as possible and your taxes as high as possible, right? To extract more and more wealth from you. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.